Hello, mortals. I hope you like my new intro. Yeah, I just made that thing today. But anywho. Last time we left off, Deku, well, had walked in. And Katsumi changing. And me getting yelled at by my grandmother. But yeah. But anywho. So, Deku. This time. Well, not this time. It's the same time. But anywho. He says, so, are you done? She says, yeah. And so, Deku, he turns around and he says, sorry. She says, it's okay. Although you do look pretty good in that, though. And she goes, huh? And he says, I said you look pretty good in that. And he, smiles. But, Deku. Anywho. But, anywho. Deku. He goes with her to the beach. And she's like, so what are you gonna wear? And he says, I have a pair of shorts in my bag. He goes, he changes. And she says, ha. And she's eyeing him up and down. And she just sees a monster. She looks. Ping. How should we put it? 11. And he connects her eyes with his. And he's just looking at his leg. And he's like, son of a bitch. And he says, okay, well, I'm done. And Bakugo, he's like, long time. What the? He's just eyeing that man. He's just ow. And he goes behind the thing. He pulls out his waistband a little bit, and he's like, how? Huh? He just goes back, and he grabs onto his shoulder, and he's just like, tell me your secrets. He's like, huh? What secrets? He says, how you have a monster of that length. And Mitsuki, she's like, oh hey Yugi, stuff me. And Deku was like, huh? And she says, nothing. But anywho, Deku, he goes ahead and he hangs around with them. But Deku, one time, he's he's leaving. And he says, "See you in UA." And they go, "See ya," because it was like the day before. And so, first day at UA, Deku, he goes there with his dad. He's like the first person there. And he was like, okay. And Deku, I know like none of the monsters have this, but I'm going to say he can use a gravity ability that allows him to control all gravity with like around him within a 50-meter radius. So 50 to that's at least 117 feet. But anywho, Deku, he goes ahead and he just starts sleeping, like flying on the ceiling. Well, he like stapled his but anyway, so Deku, he's sleeping there with his sleeping bag that he drilled into the wall. But anywho, Deku, he goes ahead and he decides, I'm going to scare the crap out of them. But he's just hiding there, and like he made like an illusion to where it looks like a cocoon. And so like everyone, they got there, and like Toru, she's like, what's that thing on the ceiling? And like everyone is scared, and Aizawa is just like, what the heck is that? And then Deku, he like goes inside of his head. He says, obelisk, can I please just let me use the head? He says, fine. But anywho, Deku, he uses the head, and he like peeks it out, and he like roars, and they all get scared, and Deku, he just starts laughing, and then like he goes back down, and he's like in his kid form, and he says, fooled you all good. And they were like, what's a kindergartner doing here? And he's like, I'm 16. Just like crying. And then I was like, so am I, buddy. So am I. And he says, you're a couple inches taller than me. And Aizawa, he said, son, you're forgetting this is a hero school. You can fully have your quirk activated. He says, wait, I can. Okay, good. I swear on God, all the girls were thinking, oh, hey, it's just a cute little boy. Nigga went from, hi, mister, to, yeah, oh, daughter calls me daddy, bucko. And he said, hey. And like all the girls, they looked at him, and they were just like, huh? And like Katsumi, she was just eyeballing it, and she said, mine. And Shoka, she said, no, mine. And like Deku, he was like looking, he says, are you both forgetting that I'm here? And also, what? And they realized what they had said, and they were just like, just like thinking of excuses. But little did they know, it's not gonna work. Genjutsu of that level does not affect this man. He's just like pouting like this. He's just like, how annoying. And he says, alright, let's go. And like Ida, he's just like, what the who is this nigga? And so as all he says, introduce yourselves, your quirks, and blah 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 blah. Son, wake me up. And he didn't like point at them, so they were like, wait, one of you is a son? They all go until it's Deku, and they were like, okay, so none of us have Aizawa as their last name. And he says, hello, everybody. He says, I'm Yu-Gi-Oh! Yami Aizawa, but you can call me Yugi. And so they're like, wait, you're his kid? And he says, yep. Surprise you very much. And they like realize that, one, his voice is deeper, two, personality. Flip. He went from cinnamon roll to, I'm Mr. Steal Yo Girl. Hello, what's poppin'? I came to collect. But Deku, he goes ahead. He says that, okay, Dad, wake up before I use obelisk. And Aizawa, he shoots up. He says, I'm up. No need for that. And they say, what's obelisk? And Aizawa, he says, a part of his quirk. And they say, oh wait, yeah, you haven't explained your... And he says, that'll be explained soon enough. And they're like, so, did you get it on recommendation? And he says, yeah. I didn't really need to take the test, but I still got the highest points in it. And they say, huh? What do you mean? And Aizawa, he said, he pulled one of the biggest flexes in history. He showed up for 5 seconds. Gained 437 rescue points. And 250 robot points. Somehow, within 5 seconds, he says, Winged Dragon of Ra, Obelisk, and Tyrannos. Simple. But over the years, Exodia, he's been calling out, shall we say, urging Deku for destruction, for pain to bring wrath, to destroy. Deku, he suppresses all of it. But Deku, he goes ahead. And he decides, why not? So when it gets to the ball throw, he says, alright. He turns into, he uses Obelisk's arms, chest, and head. And then Tyrannos legs, Tyrannos leg armor. And then uses Chaos Emperor's wings, and then Dragon of Ra's wings. And they just saw this, and they were just scared. Because his height went from 6'10", aka being tallest in the class, to 8'2". And so he grabbed it, and he chucked it, and he said, "Obliterate." Thing went flying, like, man's aside. Yeet. But yeah. And so Deku, he gets first place and everything. I'll put it simple. Alright, heroes versus villains. So it's Deku and Katsume versus Shoka and... Alright, who else do I want to do dirty? Let's go with Kirishima. And so Deku, he's running, and then Katsumi, she was jumping, and like he turned around and started like backpedaling. And he said, "So what's the plan?" And she said, "I don't know." And like her explosions stall until like she lands on top of Deku. Tigo Bitty's exposed. Man's went straight up. Do not erupt. Boom! Man's got harder there. And titanium. Like, bruv. The Tigo Bitties. Yes. But, anywho. What her hero costume? I want it to be a little different from the normal Bakugo, but hers is like this. Essentially, she can put like explosions on items or like things, or like remote detonate her explosions, but she can also shoot them. So yeah. But anywho, Deku, he dashes towards, he's just sitting there, and she like feels something pressing up against her, and she like reaches down and she like touches it. She feels it, and he was just sitting there, just like blushing completely, and he said, "Can you get off of me?" And she says, "Yeah." She gets up. Deku, he walks over to a wall, bang, smashes his head, and he says, "Alright, we're good. Erection has fallen." He then goes, he finds Shoka. She immediately, like, had set, like, ice traps. So essentially, she remote detonated, like, her ice. But Deku, he used the shield of the blackluster soldier. And then crossed his arms. I was like, is this the best you've got? Number 2. But, Deku, he says, you were trained by the number 2. And that's all you'll ever be. Second rate and second position. He's like getting her aggravated. And he says, remember when we were kids and you treated me with such disdain? And he said, obelisk. It's her up with that 320 hit combo. She goes smashing out. And Deku, he jumps up because he detected the bomb and touches it. He then flicks the air at Kirishima. Because Kirishima, he didn't know what was going on. And it hit him smack dab. Because he like tried to jump to avoid it. But it hit him smack dab in the crown jewels. Man is passed out. Yeah, they cracked. I'm skipping over the USJ because essentially, let's skip to the USJ. So when Deku gets there, all the villains, they come out. Deku, he says, hey Obelisk. And Obelisk, he says, what? He says, can I let Exodia take over for this? He says, but why? You know he will go on a rampage. And Deku, he said, that's exactly why. And he said, fine. And at that moment, he summons Obelisk, Ra. He summons them all. And then he turns into Exodia. He gets encased in a tomb. And then the tomb, it grows like chains on it. And then he like breaks out. And then like chains are like cast onto him. And he's like, let me free. Let me bring about chaos. And like everyone, they're just like scared. And then like the chains, they finally break. And Deku, he just says, obliterate. And he says, obliteration combo. And he like makes like a giant orb. And he just like chucks it. And at first it doesn't go off. And then it starts raining up like a fountain. And by raining up, I mean like a firework fountain. And then it was just like meteors. Well, like miniature, like bombs. And Deku, he like rushed in, and like Wing Dragon, Ra, and all of them, they were already like setting up traps and like other things. But this nigga, he was just going crazy. Like legit, man said, alright, y'all finna catch all the smoke today. Like, man just didn't care. But yeah, we're gonna end it off here. Cause yeah. But yeah, see y'all later. Cause this is only part 2.